Everyone. My name is Chad Erickson, and I'm the Vice President of Sales and Marketing at Advice Media. And it really is an honor to be here with you today as part of the GVASS conference and to be able to present this topic of manage with key results to create a culture of excellence. I am very passionate about the entire office experience. I have 20 years of consulting doctors on their practices and look forward to sharing some key thoughts with you today. Um, Advice Media, we're based out of Park City, Utah. And one of the advantages of that is that we have a Visit Me Ski for Free program. So if any of you listening today and watching this presentation are skiers, please give me a call. I'd love to see you. I was able to take many clients and prospects up last winter, and it's an awesome opportunity to talk about these business principles and to be able to get away from the office and think about how do we transform the practice and create a better culture. So today I'm going to share some great tidbits with you. And again, hopefully we'll see you on the slopes this winter. So talking about key results, how do we create this culture and what does it really mean? Well, I'm going to share some thoughts with you today that are going to help you. We're going to start here. This is hopefully this isn't too depressing. But 75% of US employees are feeling disconnected from their work, and that's from a Gallup employment survey. And you think about, gosh, why is that? Why do they feel like they're not fully there, that maybe they're punching the clock. You feel like your turnover is high. Because I hear this a lot from a lot of the doctors I talk to is they're frustrated with their staff. Now, some have great team members and it works, and others don't. I was talking to one today where she's had a great, administrator for years, gave 6 months of notice today, moving, clear across town. It's going to be too far to commute. And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm just overwhelmed and having to train somebody new. And so sometimes they've been there for a while, sometimes they haven't. Sometimes you're glad they quit. Um, some of you actually have people that, today you should fire somebody and you're not going to do it. But I hope today maybe motivates you to think about how to transform, how to get people really motivated to be excited about what you're doing. But how does it really start? I'm going to talk about that because it really starts with you at the top and having a vision for what you want to do. Now, what I'm going to talk about when it comes to the OKRs, objectives and key results, comes from a book that I was given about a year and a half ago called Measure What Matters. And it was written by John Doerr. Now, let me give you just a little bit of background on who John is. John was tutored by Andy Grove at Intel. He was one of the executives at Intel. And Andy Grove is one of the most important thought leaders in business in the past 100 years in the United States. He at Intel really took them to whole new heights in the microprocessing world. There was a neck and neck race between them and Motorola. And with his leadership skills and the things he implemented using the OKR system, he was able to dominate the market and make Intel into what they are today. Now, these principles have lived on through many, and John has really taken those and expanded with them. He left Intel and got into the venture capital world in the Bay Area and became a consultant for many of the top companies there, including Google. When Larry Page and Sergey Brin were in a garage and just starting out, John became their first consultant to really help them and give them direction and help to define why they were doing what they're doing, what they needed to do, and how they were going to accomplish it. And he did it by introducing to them this whole system of OKRs, again, objectives and key results. But before he did that, he started with helping them create a vision. Because before you can set goals and get everyone aligned in these goals, they have to first understand, why should I care? Why does this matter? Why are we doing this? And if you can't clearly define that, you need to go back to the drawing board and think, boy, why am I doing what I'm doing? And if it's just to make money, it's not good enough. You've got to think about what you're really trying to do and what you're trying to give and what you're trying to benefit and who you're trying to benefit. And when you think about it from that perspective of something that people can grab, hold on to, that inspires them, becomes powerful. So you have to create a vision. So what is this vision? Well, a vision has to become clear. It needs to be simple. It needs to be easy to remember and understand. It really is about the high level desired outcome that you want everyone to achieve. It creates really that direction and that purpose. Everybody is motivated by it. It really is why people want to give their best effort because they believe in the vision that you've created. And it's that ultimate desire that will inevitably drive the goals. If you do not have a clear vision, then people are just kind of floundering. They're there, but again, they're back to punching the clock. They're not really motivated. They're not into to building the culture that needs to exist so that when anybody walks into your office, they feel it. They know immediately something here is different. And we've all been in those offices or those practices where you're like, wow, this just feels great. Everybody seems aligned in what they're doing. And it's impressive when you see that, when they're all operating with that same vision. And I'm going to give you some examples of what a vision could sound like, what it looks like. So here's a few. One, here's Southwest Airlines. We operate with a warrior spirit, a servant's heart, and a fun living attitude. That's not a misspelled word. There it is, fun living attitude. Another one is Nordstrom, to give customers the most compelling shopping experience possible. And just a quick little anecdote, I had bought a suit from Nordstrom a few years ago and spent a lot of money on this suit. And it was, if there was a such thing as a lemon in the suit world, this suit was it. I had all kinds of problems with it, and I didn't wear it that often, but I'd wear it, and the sleeves would come undone. The lining in the back of the coat was coming undone. It was a mess. After the third time, I went back in, and I just said, I'm really frustrated. This is the third time I brought this in. I've had it for about a year. I've worn it maybe like 6 times, and the lady recognized me. She's like, Mr. Erickson, what size are you? I said, I'm a 42 long. She said, come on over here. Here's our 42 longs. Pick out any coat in any suit you would like. And I did. No other questions asked. She said, let's get you measured for the alterations. Done. I went back and picked it up a few days later, and that was it. So I'm a loyal client to Nordstrom now because of that. It was a compelling shopping experience. Microsoft, at its founding, said a computer on every desk and in every home. Some might say, well, that was a little bit short-sighted since we have a computer in our hands now, but but it's still fun to think about that, right? That wow, a computer on every desk, and back in the 70s, wow, that was mainframes. It was a world of mainframes, but what a vision that Bill Gates had for where we're at today. I'm going to share with you the vision of Advice Media. And it took us a long time to get here. We actually brought in a friend of mine now, Rob Schallenberger. He and Steve Schallenberger, his father, have a company called Becoming Your Best. And they really preach this principle of before you can do anything else of having your goals, you have to have a strong vision. And they helped us to create the vision at Advice Media. As an executive team, we went back, we worked on it, and we started to kind of pull our clients and our employees, and we landed on this statement here: to make our clients' lives better by supporting their professional and personal success. So, well, what does that mean? Well, we thought, we're really not that different than our clients. We're small business owners. We worry about payroll. We worry about insurance. We worry about benefits for our employees. We worry about having a great experience for them. And we have to think about all these things all the time. But if we can take that burden or this issue of digital marketing and search engine optimization and reputation management and social media and lift that burden from our clients, well, we're giving them more time, more freedom to pursue time with their family, their hobbies, or maybe it's more time with their patients as they come into the practice. And so this has become our driving vision at Advice Media, is to make our clients' lives better. And we feel this. And let me tell you, this is not easy. It starts at the top. And on the first day when somebody is hired at Advice Media, the first thing they learn is this. And then they learn the company values, which I'm going to get to in a few minutes. But the vision becomes critical. They need to understand why we do what we do. Do we have financial goals? Certainly. Do we have retention goals? Absolutely. Do we have sales goals? Of course we do. Do we have goals of improvement for each of our clients based on what they're spending? Of course we do. But it starts with this foundation, and this creates the vision for everything that we do. Now, some fun things that I do along with this, okay? I like to go around with my employees in our Park City office or in our New York office and sit down with them and talk to them. Tell me about what's going on. What are you working on? How's this going? And just to learn more about what's happening on their front. But then I'll ask them, Hey, before I leave and appreciate what you've shared with me today, can you tell me right now what our company vision is? And in some instances, it's awesome. They nail it. Other times, we have a little bit of a teaching moment. Some might say it's a woodshed moment. I hope they don't feel that, but it certainly is a teaching moment because they need to understand this. We have a monthly um, town hall meeting as well. And the first thing we do at every single town hall meeting is we randomly call on somebody and we have them stand up and we give them a microphone. It doesn't matter if they're in the New York office or the Park City office, we can see each other and somebody has to recite the vision. And sometimes they're a little bit embarrassed and we have to help them along. And those people, those individuals always learn it after that. But it's a great learning experience. I do little training groups as well, and it's not unusual that I'll call on somebody and I'll pull out a $20 bill. It's like, okay, who can do this right now? And there's times I've put that $20 bill back in my pocket, and other times I've given it away. So again, it's that constant, consistent emphasis on this that everybody in our company understands that this is vital, and they need to understand that this is what drives us. So the OKRs, talking about this, the objectives and the key results. So if we understand that the vision is the why, the OKRs provide the what and the how. Laszlo Block, who is HR guru at Google, he said, and I quote, OKRs provide clarity of purpose. The most talented people want an aspiration that is inspiring. And it's amazing that after all these years, Google still uses OKRs. Every single department uses these, and this is their measurement. This is how they measure their results and their sprints, whether it's on a quarterly, monthly, annual basis. In that book, Measure What Matters, there's great stories about how Google's used it, but also how YouTube, owned by Google, has utilized this and made some pivots at times, but grown because they were focused on their OKRs. But again, what's inspiring? So the OKRs demand, when I say it's inspiring, it's a hyper focus that the whole team comes together on. And really it's about great communication, that everybody's together, they're unified on what's happening because it's motivating everybody. They understand their role, they understand how they fit into that as it pertains to these goals. And the collective effort is massive and it helps define what they value. So let me ask you, and I want you to think about this. What do you value? When you think about your practice, what really, really matters? Um, is it punctuality? Is it integrity? Is it honesty? It could be a number of things. Give you some ideas. I'm going to share with you the values, the core principles and values that drive Advice Media. Maybe it gives you some ideas. First one is transparency. And this is critical. It's about being honest and open and accountable. If we make a mistake, we're going to own that. As a management team, it's critical that we share how we're doing financially and let everybody in the team know that. We have a very open door policy. My calendar's open to view. They can come into my office anytime. I've got glass across it. I want people coming in. I want to be able to share with them. I want them to know what's happening. And so some might say we overshare, but we want them to know that we're not trying to hide anything, and they feel like they're part of it. And there's a lot of appreciation for that. We also have relentless effort is one of our core values. And let me tell you, there was last week we had one of our clients who they had a little issue. They actually forgot to send us something, and they had this thing. It was urgent. They needed to get on the website. They gave it to us late in the afternoon. It was going to take a while. Our team stayed late, and it wasn't just the one person, but the rest of the team actually stayed to help on that. And that was just amazing effort to make sure it happened. That goes back to the next one, which is teamwork. The teamwork, it's like, how do we work together? We're not siloed as much as we were because of the OKRs that we've now had implemented on our team for the past almost year and a half. And it makes a huge, huge difference. The last one is intellectual honesty. And I have to admit, when I first heard this, I was like, intellectual honesty. Well, can't we just be honest? And it was interesting as I learned more about this. I thought, well, honesty is one thing, but people defining what is honest to one isn't necessarily honest to another person. But intellectual honesty keeps us all in the same plane because it's driven by numbers. It's driven by measurable numbers that everybody can see. And so you get away from the anecdotal stories of um, doing great. Hey, doc, you're doing great. Everything looks awesome. We're kicking butt for you. We can't do that. Doctor, here's the numbers. You started here. This was the benchmark. And guess what? You're now getting this many leads coming into your through your website every single month. And that's an amazing result. And they see that. Again, it's intellectually based. It's not hyperbole. It's not anecdotal. It's based on being intellectual. And we hold our people to that standard. When we ask them for a report, they know that they can't BS their way through it because I want to see the numbers and I'm going to ask them for it. And as we set that tone, it's a big deal. But these core values become important. These are driving principles within the organization that everybody lives up to. All right, so next, how do the OKRs work in real life? First of all, the objective. The objective is the goal. It's the what. It's the direction that the organization intends to work towards. It has to be clear and concise. So again, the vision is the why. The objective becomes the what. What are we going to accomplish? And then the key result becomes the how. And it really becomes the metrics that can be used to show how the objective is met. And usually for any one objective, you're going to have 3, maybe up to 5 key results measured. Now, let me show you an example of how this would work in real life. I'm going to use a football analogy. We're here in football season, but I think it makes sense. And it's kind of a top-down approach. Over time, it doesn't have to always be top-down. You can actually have your employees help you define these. As I was mentioning earlier, we're now in our 5th cycle. When I say cycle, I'm talking about on a quarter because objectives and key results are typically based on a quarterly system. It's easier to measure. You're not trying to do annual reviews. We stopped doing annual reviews. We're looking at quarterly sprints with our team. We know how they're doing because we can measure it. It's amazing. And employees are happier because they get immediate feedback. They know what they're doing. They know how they fit in with the whole plan. So it's just amazing how it transforms your culture. But let me show you this football analogy and how it works. And again, over time, let your employees be part of it. Let them help build those. I've had my teams help me build our Q4 OKRs. And they've loved it. They've bought in more this time because of that. But they understand how it works now. It took some time for them to get the principles down. We'll start here, top-down approach. So let's say you're the football general manager. And the main objective for that general manager is to make money for the owners. Makes sense. How are they going to do it? Well, he decided that the key results that I can use to measure this would be I'm going to win the Super Bowl this season. And secondly, I need to fill the stands up to 88% capacity for each of our home games. So the next part that happens is very interesting. And I want you to see this because I'm going to tell you how this is going to work or could work in your aesthetic practice today. So win the Super Bowl this season. Well, this becomes the objective now for the head coach. So the head coach says, okay, we're going to win the Super Bowl. That's our objective. The key results. This is what it's going to take. This is what we can measure. And if we do these things, the likelihood of us winning is off the charts. First, we have to have 250 yards of passing each game. We have to be number 3 or higher in defensive efficiency. We have to average over 120 rushing yards per game, and we have to be plus 12 in the turnover ratio. Great. Now, how does this work as it funnels down? Well, if I'm maybe the offensive coordinator or the quarterback's coach, I'm saying 250 yards per game. Great. That's my objective now. Now I'm going to work with the quarterback and the receivers. We're going to work on certain schematics. These are going to be our play calls, our ratio of passing calls to running. We're going to work on being more effective downfield and the timing. Anyway, they set new key results for those. I want to be number 3 defensively. The defensive coordinator now takes that key result. It becomes his or her objective. And from that, they define other ones saying, we're going to be, we're going to have this many interceptions. We're going to create this many fumbles. We're going to lead in defensive hurries and sacks or whatever. They define those other key results and they can measure that. So hopefully you're starting to understand how this starts to work. But what's happening is the entire team is understanding how they relate to that main objective at the top, which is to make the owners money in this situation. The other one of that I was sharing as part of this example is public relations and the marketing. They want to fill the stands to 88%. So the key results become, well, I'm going to highlight three of our key players each week with our TV and partners and news articles. Great. We're going to do more with Google and retargeting ads and another paid search to drive more traffic in. And we're going to increase sponsorship with the Little League football by whatever percentage by this date. It's date bound as well. Well, every one of those key results now becomes an objective for somebody else on the team. Whoever's in charge of Little League relationships says, great, that's my objective. And now they will build key results underneath that. So you can start to understand how these tasks work and how they fill in behind this. So how does this work maybe in an aesthetic practice like yours? Well, think about this. Let's say that in Q4 of this year, you want to increase the number of injectable patients that you see by 30%. That's your objective. Your key result could be hold one major event in this quarter. Another one could be we're going to establish 4 new partnerships with local salons in our area, knowing that hey, the salon owners, they talk a lot. They're great, filters in. Maybe you're going to work with a cosmetic dentist who doesn't do what you're doing, and it becomes kind of a referral back and forth. You find those partnerships are going to help you grow your overall base. And then that new key result becomes an objective for one of your employees to say, I'm going to own this event. That event is now hers. And she says, great, I'm going to have the best kick butt event in November of this year. And now the key results are, plan it by this date, get the location settled, get the invitations out, we're targeting these people, invite our vendors and sponsors and others and bring it all together. And so it becomes very, very driven all the way down. But everybody knows very clearly now what their role is. Again, they understand why they're doing it, they understand what, and they understand how. And they're bought into the whole principle of this. Now they're excited, they're motivated. It's very clear to them what they're doing because these objectives and key results become public. A lot of times with goals in an organization, they become kind of hidden where it's isolated. This department over here has some and this one over here. They don't talk, they don't know what's going on. And it becomes frustrating. That lack of communication becomes difficult because the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing. This changes everything because of that. We have seen after implementing this over the past year plus at Advice Media, the happiness factor at Advice Media is up. We're seeing greater transparency because across all of our silos, we know what's going on. I see that, hey, over here, this group needs help with retention. Okay, great. Well, I can teach them some things on the sales front to help them with that. Marketing has an initiative to help this team over here. I need development's help to work on this project I have on this side. And as they start to understand the needs from each other, there becomes more collaboration and teamwork. And let me tell you, we do polling. We poll our employees every couple of weeks anonymously. We have a system for that. And it's amazing to see how the transformation has gotten through to every single level of our staff because of the use of OKRs. The culture is better than it's ever been. We see a team that's motivated, that's excited. They're working together. They're doing things after work. They're volunteering with various organizations. We're just seeing a higher retention rate with our clients. We're seeing better sales than we've ever seen before. And we're seeing this unity, but also as a management team, accountability. I know what people are doing. I can see it, and it's easy to measure because it's done all the way through. So what it's done now is created more trust between the employees and an employer, the management, and vice versa. We trust one another. We see what's going on. They know the direction, and they're excited about it. What I'm finding in most medical practices is it all lives here in your head. You understand what you want, and you might have 1 or 2 people on your staff that get it, and others just frustrate you, and you don't have enough time. If you will work to start to implement this and start at the top, but again, start with the vision, the why, then get into the what and the how with very clear objectives and key results. As you start to work on that, you will start to see a difference. It takes time. We knew that as we committed to this process, we were going to give it 4 of these units, 1 full year. Well, after the first quarter, it was like, of course we're keeping this. This is working. But we realized, okay, I could have done better here and I needed to measure this. Because the great thing about the OKRs is it doesn't have to be a pass fail. It's not binary of 0, 1. If you got 75% of the way there, sometimes these are big, hairy, audacious goals. And that's awesome. It gets you to stretch. Well, 75%, you say, wow, we achieved more than we ever thought we could. And now let's talk about, though, why do we come up short? Let's evaluate that. So we're grading ourselves. But at 75%, that might be an A because you may have exceeded your expectations. And that's awesome. So again, it plays into that. It doesn't have to be a pass fail, but it's helping you achieve more than you've ever achieved before. And then you look at back, you evaluate, and you regroup, and you do it again. And you continue that same process. As you do this and make it consistent, you'll see the effect. We're no longer, just setting these and forgetting about them. It's something that is living, breathing. We've gotten written on the walls. We have, as I mentioned, glass. We have these special colored markers our teams are using. We have digital versions as well. And as people see that, they love it, but it's always there, the transparency, the visual nature. It's not one of those set it and forget it. So anyway, very, very powerful. But I know that if you'll take this to your practice and start with just those basic principles, get your vision down, set your first objective and your key results, and you'll see a transformation happen in your practice. I thank you again for being part of this. This is an exciting opportunity. I'm honored that I was able to share some thoughts with you today. If you have any questions or you'd like to learn more about this, please send me an email or call me. This is my cell phone number as well. And I'd be more than happy to talk to you. And again, if you're looking to ski this winter, please give me a call. Hope to see you on the slopes and have a wonderful day.